Good morning again, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to talk about perception, common perception, that is by viewers of the news and media, the average person, and the news that we all share with each other via word of mouth. And I have an example of what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure everybody remembers COVID. If you're alive during, COVID, give or take 3 or 4 years ago, 2001, was it? March, thereabouts, I think. And I followed it fairly closely. I was concerned at the time, like most people, that it was very serious. And we were told constantly, it's super serious. And it's easy to look back in hindsight and be a genius, right? But that's not what this is. I'm going to talk about something different than the fact that most people were wrong about it. I'm going to talk about the fact that nobody's talking about the fact that they were wrong about it. So, turns out there were no mass graves. The hospitals, while locked down in emergency mode, they were not necessarily overrun beyond capacity, most of them. There were elevated cases, like with any outbreak, bird flu, for example. And speaking of flu, I've followed this, like I said, and watched the mortality rates. I was watching it pretty closely. The mortality rate hovered right around 3%. And it was mostly, by the vast majority, elderly people who are already susceptible to illness or, turns out, here's the thing. COVID had the same mortality rate as influenza. And it's sad and funny that at the time, we had this gigantic media extravaganza about COVID, but not influenza, even though they had the exact same mortality rate. You can look this up. I'm not making it up, if the data is still available. So my question now is, since there were no mass graves, since it was not really the pandemic that we were told, why are people not discussing this? Or are they, and I'm just not hearing it? What is the problem with the news, and why does this keep happening? Why do people just keep going on with their lives like there wasn't this enormous lie that was blown out of proportion with a tremendous response? Lockdowns, businesses going out of business. I lost my own job for COVID, and turns out it was never more fatal per capita than influenza, which has been here forever. Explain that to me. Why we're not discussing the lie of COVID? Anybody? I'm concerned, like I said, this isn't going to be a long video, but on a bigger subject, why is the news just so easily dismissed after it comes out? Especially when there's a big, famous event. Why are we all so eager to just plow forward and forget the subject? Or are we? Because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like time and again when things happen, they just get swept under the rug or glossed over, and we're all so eager to get on with our lives and happy that things are back to normal that we just refuse to even think about it or discuss it. Okay, there was a lie, and it affected millions of people, if not billions. And we're still not clear about what happened. I know we're not, because people still regard COVID as this deadly thing. And it can be if you're already susceptible, but no more than flu, which we're giving a disproportionately low amount of attention. It makes no sense. I think we have a problem with our information. I think we have a problem with our news outlets. We have a problem with our information authorities, the people who are managing our information. And we have a problem with people just believing everything they hear. That's the ultimate problem. People just buying it, hook, line, and sinker, locking down for no reason, not checking their facts, being unable to check their facts in their defense, but just, doing every little thing that they're told, especially when it makes no sense whatsoever. Am I the only one who's worried about our information? The fact that we're just refusing to discuss it afterwards? Something happened. Something happened, and now everybody's on a different program, and it's not a big deal. Not that I'm seeing anyway. Maybe I'm not on the right mailing list. But it's the same shit that happened with 9/11, if you ask me, and I'm not trying to dredge up conspiracy theories, but there was never a satisfactory explanation for that either. I mean, there was a domestic attack that took out 2 skyscrapers, killed thousands of people, including many firefighters, civil servants. Public employees were murdered. And we're expected to believe it was some goat farmers that did it. That doesn't even add up. It didn't add up then, and it still doesn't. And my concern isn't that it happened or that there was a lie in the media. It's that nobody's even thinking about it. Like COVID, this stuff keeps happening, and we're all just so quick to run away and say, oh, yeah, whatever. Can't trust the news. On to the next event. Well, how long is it going to be before someone just bamboozles you right out of your life? I feel like that already happened to thousands of people. How can I be the only one worried about this? I don't understand. Anyway, reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.